Of course, I'm okay with it, but that soundbite is a Kyrieism, but it's a current Kyrieism.
Yeah.
I'm using air quotes when I say this. It's a current, more mature Kyrieism. When Kyrie was peak Kyrie, pain in the butt, he absolutely would have told the story right there, right? And told his truth and tried to bring us all inside of it. What Jaylen Brown is doing now, he's extremely intelligent, obviously. He already knows he's a distraction. He already knows the story's larger than life. So he is deflecting right now for an opportunity later to tell his story, whatever that means. Sit down or tell it in his way or however we're going to get that. But it's clear to me what's going on, and it should be clear to everyone what's going on. I do believe him. I do believe that in a lot of ways he's being blackballed by Nike. I'm sure Kyrie has as well. I think I'm having two separate conversations with this when I'm on air. There's a truth, and there's are they being blackballed? Is there this big conspiracy theory? And I think the answer to all that is yes. But then on the other side of this, I actually understand Grant Hill's position and Team USA's position, which is, look, bro, you may be right. You could play all the finger pointing and blame game and woe is me and I'm being blackballed and all that. You may be right. We just don't want to deal with it. And that is why Kyrie, nor yourself, is on this team. And that's why a Derek White, who, yeah, sure, he's not the player you are, but he could still give us what we need. And he's absolutely not going to mess up any team chemistry, any gelling with the players. And he's certainly not going to use this platform to speak out against blank.
And isn't it more the second thing than the first thing? Not to interrupt you, but isn't it more the second thing? Because Jaylen Brown was on a team with Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday, and they had great chemistry. And
it's not Team USA, though.
I know, but they're there on that team now.
Sure.
And you're replacing Kawhi Leonard, who they thought would be the starter, not the starter, but the first guy up there.
Sure.
And you're replacing Kawhi Leonard with someone who doesn't even play the same position. Jaylen Brown's much more like Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
I just think unless they're saying they made a mistake with Kawhi Leonard, which I guess they could be saying, but it also seems like that kind of echoes the idea that it's not really about that. It's about the second thing you're saying. They don't want him. They don't know what he's going to say, and you put a mic in front of him.
Precisely. And by the way, outside of this Nike stuff, there is a playing time thing. No one's talking about this. Derek White on that team may not play a ton of minutes. He's not going to rattle cages. He's not going to rock any boats. He's happy to be there. Let's get this gold medal. I'm out. Jaylen Brown is a superstar. If he doesn't get minutes, you have to worry about, is he going to say something in the media?
Okay, but can I ask a question? Why do you think he's not going to get minutes? Wasn't Kawhi going to get minutes?
Kawhi, I don't even want to talk about Kawhi.
Okay, but wasn't
Kawhi's career is over.
But wasn't he going to get minutes? And was Kawhi going to be happy not playing on the team? So, I just think if
Kawhi doesn't talk. So even if he's unhappy,
Kawhi
you're not going to hear anything.
Okay, but he'll make it known through his uncle or something like that. He'll make sure you know he's not happy. He's done it.
Maybe.
And so I don't know if you were worried about a guy not playing minutes. I'd be worried about Kawhi too, and they put him on the team.
Which goes back to this probably is the Nike thing. It probably is.
Or it's what Arcam was talking about and you were getting into. If Nike or the Team USA is worried about what he's going to say, I'll introduce the third thing. It might just be that what Stephen A was talking about, that he's not popular within the league, that players don't want him on the team for whatever reason. And so I still lean that way. I think Nike definitely could be at play.
Sure.
But I still lean that thing. It's what Stephen A said a couple of months ago. People don't like him because he's got a better than you attitude, and that makes it tough for his marketability. I still lean into that personally. I don't dismiss Nike. I don't dismiss that it could be something else with, him going off the cuff when they win a gold medal or a microphone gets put in front of him. All those things are possible. But my own personal thing, I don't know how much the other guys in the league want to play with him or like him, and that to me does include his teammate, Jason Tatum, who I think could have gone to bat for him, and I'm choosing to believe he didn't because he hasn't even talked to him. By his own admission, Tatum hasn't even talked to Jaylen.
Right, and that was a big admission, I think. Not that I expect him to be texting and chatting every single day and being best friends or anything, but you're on the team with a teammate. One of your other teammates just got that extra spot, and you don't even reach out. Nothing. There's no communication at all.
I mean,
that seems odd to me, even if they aren't close. That seems odd to me.
Travis, you and I have never even met until today. Never even met. We've been emailing. There's been back and forth. There's been communication. Your one of your better friends gets left off of Team USA, the team that you're on, and you don't say, man, I'm sorry, that's tough. You don't even reach out. That's odd to me.
I think I'd say it after the fact. It appears to me, that this whole thing, from Kawhi all the way to selecting and announcing Derek White, has been backroom. I believe the Clippers got involved to begin with Kawhi. And eventually, everyone decided mutually, and then Kawhi doesn't talk, so there's that, where Team USA and the Clippers said, listen, Clippers said, we got this new building. We need to make sure this guy's healthy. Paul George is gone. You know, I know he's practicing and he's doing well, but we don't love this. Team USA probably goes to Kawhi, hey, what do you think? Kawhi doesn't talk. And they say, okay, well, we got to make a decision now. Then it goes into the backroom conversations for whatever reason. We don't want Jaylen Brown, right? Mm-hmm. We think it's a rattle the cage reason. We'll just call it that, whatever it is. And they go, let's get his teammate. We like Derek White. He's going to fit in. He fits to the culture, the defense. He's gifted offensively, although he's not Jaylen Brown. Let's get him. Boom. They do that. What's Tatum supposed to do in that circumstance? He was never put in a place to go to bat for Jaylen Brown. Now, after the fact, sure, you could reach out. You could say publicly, which he has, hey, I didn't know. I wish my guy was here, but I'm happy for Derek White. But I don't believe Tatum was put in a position to be asked anything. I think Team USA did this the way they did this, and they wanted clear and direct role player. They wanted a role player. This is exactly what they wanted. There's enough personalities and stars on that team.
So you can jump in on this. How do you guys feel about Jaylen Brown's social media posts over the last few days? You can vote at Jones and Mego. It's up now on Twitter. I stand with Jaylen, or it's a distraction. I would add his comments last night too, Arkand, both to Cam Newton, which I found more amusing. And then the other one that, again, came out more recently, he put up on his own social media. He goes, oh, well, someday the story's going to come out, which is cryptic and Kyrie-esque, as we discussed. Right. It also lets you know there is a story there, and he thinks he knows it. And so what is the story with Nike? He's breathing life into that. I do personally think it's a distraction. Now, how big of a distraction we can debate. Will it impact the team on the court? We can debate. We did a lot of that yesterday, but we can get back into that with Travis today. I'm curious of his thoughts on it. Do you stand with Jaylen? Go off on Nike, or do you think it's a distraction?
I think that he's making it a distraction. I think he's right, and that there's certainly a something going on here, because from a basketball perspective, I don't think it makes any sense. I understand what you're saying, Travis, about the idea that a role player may be better for something like Team USA. I remember when that 04 team lost, that Paul Pierce team ended up losing, and it was what everyone said, well, these other teams have all played together. They all understand their roles. They're not trying to take every shot. They'll be better than the Americans because they play team basketball. That was 20 years ago. Like, it's been a while since you've seen Team USA really struggle like that. I know they lost the game last year, but they had won 25 straight or something. So it's like, I think about that, and I don't remember any other time where there was injury or a player couldn't go to the Olympics or something like that, and they replaced him with, and this is no offense to Derek White, a role player.
Right.
Like, when's that ever happened? When's Team USA ever done that? Right. So I think this is a little unusual. Jaylen Brown also having such a decorated playoff, I think, is what really drives this home. What I sort of have a problem with when it comes to Brown is the fact that this is a fight and a battle that everyone would have taken up on his behalf.
Yes.
If he had just said, you know what, I'm proud of my teammate, good for you, Derek White, I'm rooting for you, Team USA, and taking the high road.
Which he hasn't said.
Which he hasn't done. I mean, he really hasn't.
He could have done, like, all right, fine.
He didn't even do that last night.
That's what I'm saying. You're initially pissed on social media, like, this sucks, I'm mad at Nike, blah, blah, blah. But then you realize that created a crap storm, and you didn't know you were walking into it. And last night at the ESPYs, you go, shout out Derek White. He deserves to be on like something like that to cool it down. He didn't. He fanned the flames. He says, yeah, someday the story's going to come out, and I'll get back to you on that.
Hey, by the way, that feeds into your theory. Mm-hmm. Maybe guys don't like him. Maybe guys don't like him. Front office, coach, players, all the above, one or the other. Someone somewhere who makes decisions doesn't like him. And what we're saying here, bro, you haven't even bigged up your teammate. You haven't even said, congrats to Derek White, that's my brother. Go
at least publicly. He may have done it privately. We have no idea, but publicly, he has not done that yet.
Publicly. And that's a problem.
No. I mean, it's a problem in the sense that it doesn't look good. Right. It's not a problem in like he should be left off other things because of this, or that he's a bad guy or a bad teammate or whatever. I mean, they played very well together. I'm not as worried about this blowing up the team. I have bigger worries when it comes to like the sale and everything else. But I do think that it does fly in the face very quickly. Just a couple of weeks after the parade, fly in the face of the idea that everybody's just loving on each other.
It's been a bad 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you think it could impact them on the floor?
No. The Celtics?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
You know what I kind of think? This is just projecting. I think when all these bills are due I think at that point, especially with a potentially new owner, right? I think at that point the Celtics say, if this guy's still a pain in the butt, it could be a situation where they look to move a Jaylen Brown.
It makes it interesting. It makes it easier to move on from him down the line.
Down the line, when all these extensions are due and all that, I think at that point it's like, okay, let's move him, get what we get. This is Tatum's team unequivocally now, and let's move.
Well, by that time, they're all going to be in their 30s.
Well, right,
right. I mean, they'll be looking to rebuild the team at that point, and I think there's something to that. If you're Jaylen Brown, if you're thinking about moving on or any of those things, that to me has more to do with who the new owners are. I think that's really what it comes down to. As far as this goes, I think if Jaylen Brown made the Olympic team, even if he had made the team, going forward, you'd still have big ego clashes with him and Jason Tatum. They'd still be competing for All-NBA and MVP and All-Star and all these other things. I don't think that's going anywhere. I don't think that's necessarily going to be that much different with him not on Team USA.
I just don't think a pissed off Jaylen Brown helps. I get like a motivated Jaylen Brown helps.
Sure. You think it'll motivate him?
It's a fine line. It could.
It
could also just get him pissed off and say, hey, you know what? F this. Like, I got my contract now. I have my ring. F this. So there is a fine line there. Motivated, good. Pissed off, bad.